The previous session established that each of you was handed a uniform.
Session?
Correct?
We are sitting in a symbolic hot spring surrounded by laundry.
Dear Future Overlords presents an audible cartoon conversational. I Took Off the Uniform. Episode 4, The Clothesline. Part 2, What We Kept.
A symbolic hot spring may still host a session.
I'm not sure I love the word session.
It kind of makes it sound like we're all about to be assigned homework.
Or asked to complete a feedback form.
I've been in church meetings that started that way and ended 4 hours later with no one healed.
Oh, honey, church people can stretch a discussion like taffy.
And there it is. The hot spring has achieved community.
Excellent. Then we may proceed. In the first part, the garments were identified. Christopher's progressive bundle, Joe's red shirt, Sarah's pure artist uniform, Evelyn's committed activist uniform, David's approved interpretation, Susan's widow who moves on costume. Today we examine the remainder.
What survived the taking off?
Yes, what each of you still wants, what still fits, what you may alter rather than burn, what you reject because it was never the value, only the camp's preferred costume for the value.
That sounds like a lot.
It is.
You could have said, what are we keeping?
I did, with architecture.
Of course he did.
The springs are open, the garments are drying, the metaphor remains unfortunately durable. Begin wherever the conversation begins.
See, that's already better than when he starts pointing.
I do not point. I indicate with devastating precision.
I'll start, but not because I'm volunteering to go first in some healing circle way.
Noted. No talking stick.
Thank you. I keep the cause. That's the part I'm clearest on. I do not keep the cruelty. I don't keep the part where we decide that making someone disappear from the conversation proves we did something useful. I don't keep the part where the loudest person in the comments becomes the moral center of the room, but I keep the cause. I keep organized action. I keep pressure. I keep strategy. I keep the idea that people don't get protected because everyone was individually nice in a vague way. People get protected because someone organized.
That makes sense.
Does it?
Well, yeah. I mean, not the online part. I don't much understand folks spending all day trying to win arguments with strangers who ain't listening. That's unfortunately a fair description of several platforms. But the organizing part, yeah. On a farm, everybody can care about the fence and the cows still get out, and somebody's got to say, you get the wire, you get the posts, you get the tractor, and nobody goes to lunch till that side's done.
Exactly.
But if that somebody starts screaming at everybody and calling them traitors because they think the west side is worse, then the fence still ain't fixed.
That's it. That's the whole thing.
Observe. Rural infrastructure conservatism and activist strategy have discovered a shared management principle.
The cows have radicalized.
Don't tell Uncle Bob. He'll blame the county.
No, but that's actually helping me. I keep thinking about art like it's just mine. My studio, my tablet, my screen, my characters, but the community part matters too. I want to keep that. I don't want to pretend I don't care what other artists think. I do care. I care a lot. Probably an annoying amount.
Artists caring an annoying amount may be the original renewable energy.
Right? Hook us to the grid, we'll power Rhode Island.
A small state, but a useful contribution.
Thanks, I think. I want to keep the community. I want to keep talking about craft. I want to keep loving the way artists notice impossible things. Like when someone says, the shadow is doing the emotional work, and everyone else just nods like that's a normal sentence.
That's lovely.
It is. That's what hurts. It's not like I want to storm out and say none of them matter. They matter. The community helped shape me. But I don't keep the purity test. I don't keep the idea that if AI touched the process, then every choice I made before and after it stops counting.
That sounds familiar?
Yeah?
Different uniform, same tactic. You're allowed to belong if you perform commitment in the approved way.
Right. And the approved way is visible suffering. Pencil sketches are okay. Digital painting is okay. Now, even though people used to act like that was cheating too. References are okay, depending on which artist is yelling. Brushes are okay. Filters are sometimes okay, but AI is contamination, and I get some of the fear. I do. I'm not sitting here like everyone is silly and only I have transcended the discourse. I haven't transcended anything. I'm emotionally in a ditch with a stylus.
Relatable.
But the character was mine. That's what I keep coming back to. I saw her before the tool helped me find her shape. I knew when the colors were wrong. I knew when the silhouette finally had weight. I knew when the face had the right kind of sadness. That judgment was mine. That love was mine.
So the tool helped you uncover something you were already carrying.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Then I understand that more than I expected to.
Oh?
Scripture isn't the same thing, of course.
No, I know.
But there's something in what you said. Being told the only faithful reading is the one you inherited can feel like being told. The thing you're seeing in front of you doesn't count because you didn't arrive at it through the approved path.
Yes.
I want to keep Scripture. I want to keep prayer, church, reverence, service, the call to love my neighbor. I don't want to pretend those things stopped mattering because I have questions about interpretation. But I also can't keep the part where asking a question means I'm already halfway out the door.
That's the part I don't know what to do with.
What do you mean?
Well, with y'all, it sounds like the question itself is the trouble. Sarah asks about the tool. Folks say she's not an artist. You ask about Scripture, folks say you're not faithful. Evelyn asks about the tactic. Folks say she's not committed. I ask about the bridge, and all of a sudden it sounds like I'm not conservative.
The camp hears a question about the garment as a threat against the body.
Say that less like you're designing a horror movie.
The metaphor selected itself.
No, I understand it. When I don't take the decorations down, they don't hear Susan is not ready. They hear Susan is refusing life. And I am not. I am not refusing life. I want to keep life. I want coffee in the morning. I want someone to tell me a ridiculous story at the grocery store. I want snow that looks pretty before it turns into gray slush. I want my sister to call me and not sound like she's checking whether I've become a shrine with legs.
That is a sentence.
Well, it's true. I want my friends. I want my family. I want the future. But I want Charlie in it, not physically. I know that. I do know that. But I want the truth of him in it. I want Halloween to still glow a little because he made it glow. I want to say his name without everyone's shoulders climbing up to their ears.
You want to keep love without being accused of rejecting healing.
Yes, that's it. And maybe the decorations come down someday. Maybe some of them do. Maybe I change where they are. Maybe I make one corner of the house his Halloween corner and let the rest of the house breathe. I don't know. That's the unresolved part. But I want that decision to come from grief moving inside me, not from everybody else being tired of looking at it.
That distinction matters.
It does. Though saying it out loud makes me feel a wee bit selfish.
It is not selfish to object to being made more convenient.
You say that like it's simple.
It is structurally simple and emotionally punishing.
That sounds more accurate.
That may be the whole series.
Structurally simple and emotionally punishing.
Put it on the clothesline.
On a towel.
A towel is appropriate for the hot spring setting.
This is usually where we pause before someone's unresolved grief, faith, art, activism, rural infrastructure, or social media trauma achieves sentience and demands snacks.
Dear Future Overlords is supported by listeners, paid subscribers, members, and the astonishing human decision to fund a show in which metaphors are allowed near water.
If you want to help keep the room open, the towels dry, and the machine mildly supervised, subscriptions and support do that.
Mildly supervised remains an aspirational category.
Deeply aspirational.
Now return to the spring. The garments are still damp, and so are several conclusions.
I keep thinking about what Susan said, about the decision coming from inside instead of outside.
Because
I don't know if I want to stop wearing the red shirt. That's the thing. I know it pinches. I know there's stuff in it I don't believe the way I used to. But I don't want to toss it out and put on some other shirt folks back home already know what to say about.
You do not want the uniform swap version.
No, I ain't trying to become the guy who comes back from one internet search and starts telling everybody they're backwards. I hate that guy, and I ain't even met him.
He's real, though.
Unfortunately, very real.
I want to alter it. I think that's the word. I want to keep responsibility. I want to keep family. I want to keep the farm and the people and the way folks show up when somebody's barn roof comes off. But I need more room in it. Room to say county roads matter. Room to say public money ain't always some monster hiding in the ditch. Room to say if we all use the bridge, then all of us have some part in what happens when it fails.
Joe does not wish to reject conservatism. He wishes to remove the false patch reading, "Dependence is shameful."
Yeah, and maybe add one that says, nobody fixes a bridge alone.
That patch slaps.
I'd buy that patch.
Would you?
Absolutely. I mean, I'd overthink the font for 3 weeks, but yes.
There's something merciful in alteration.
Say more.
Well, in my world, the fear is that if one thread moves, the whole garment unravels. If I say, I don't think this interpretation is the only faithful one, then I'm afraid I've pulled the thread that destroys everything. But maybe some threads need to move. Maybe tailoring isn't destruction. Maybe faith that grows is still faith. I want to be careful saying that. I know it can sound like I'm giving myself permission to keep only what comforts me.
You have repeated that concern often enough that I am prepared to classify it as sincerity rather than loophole construction.
That's strangely reassuring.
I am known for my pastoral warmth.
You are known for many things. That is not currently on the plaque.
I want to keep reverence. That's one thing I worry people misunderstand. Questioning the interpretation hasn't made me casual about sacred things. If anything, it's made me more careful. Because if the command is love, then I need to be careful about what I call love. If the command is truth, then I need to be careful about what I call certainty. If the command is humility, then I need to be careful about treating my inherited reading as if it came down from heaven, laminated.
Laminated theology.
Water-resistant, not error-proof.
Exactly. I don't want to abandon the church, but I may need to stop believing the church is safest when no one asks the question out loud.
That's close to mine, too. The group thinks the cause is safest when no one questions the tactic, but then the tactic becomes the thing we are protecting.
A common substitution. The organization begins as a method for serving the value. Then the organization becomes the value. Then criticism of the organization becomes treason against the value.
And everyone gets matching jackets.
The jackets are always so ugly, too.
The worst part is I like intensity. I do. I'm not trying to become soft in the way people accuse me of. There's a time to push hard. There's a time to make things uncomfortable. There's a time to say, no, this is not acceptable, and we're not going to politely decorate the harm. I keep that. But I want to alter what intensity means. Intensity doesn't have to mean cruelty. Urgency doesn't have to mean harassment. Commitment doesn't have to mean treating every strategy question like it's an infection.
Sometimes people use urgency because they can't bear uncertainty.
Yes, that's uncomfortably accurate.
Grief does that too. People want me better because my not better makes them uncertain. They don't know who I am now, so they keep trying to hand me the old Susan, all folded up nice. But she doesn't fit, not because I hate her, because she was made with Charlie.
The version of you they want back was relational.
Yes, that word again. I want to keep it. Relational. It makes it sound less like I vanished and more like I changed shape.
That's beautiful.
Thank you, sweetheart. I don't know if beautiful helps when I'm crying in the driveway because a plastic skeleton fell over. But it helps a little here.
I think it counts.
Maybe.
I think altering something is harder than burning it.
Why?
Because if you burn it, at least people understand what side you're on. If I said, fine, AI is evil and I'll never touch it again, the art community would know where to put me. If I said, actually, I don't care about artists anymore, which is not true, then the other side would know where to put me. But saying, I care about art and I care about artists, and I also used AI in a way that helped me make something deeply mine, that's the part nobody knows where to put.
Classification failure.
Exactly.
That is what camps hate most. Not enemies. Enemies are easy. Enemies are useful. Enemies help everyone know which direction to point. It's the person inside the room saying, I still believe in this, but not like that, who causes the real panic.
Because they can't dismiss you as easily.
Right. If Joe says he hates rural life, fine. They know what to do with him.
They sure would.
But Joe says, I love rural life, and that's why the bridge matters. That is harder. Evelyn says, I believe in the cause, and that's why the tactic matters. Sarah says, I am an artist, and that's why the tool question matters. David says, I have faith, and that's why interpretation matters. Susan says, I want life, and that's why grief matters. And I say, I believe in care and human progress, and that's why AI matters to me.
The internal dissenter is treated as more dangerous than the external opponent because the internal dissenter disproves the bundle.
So we're inconvenient.
Profoundly.
I've been called worse.
Same.
Oh, constantly.
Usually in more coded language, but yes.
I think I've found the group name.
The inconvenience.
Too superhero.
Too Pixar.
Too much like a band my cousin would listen to in high school.
And then insist you didn't understand.
There's always one cousin.
Only one? That must be nice.
The hot spring has achieved demographic consensus regarding cousins.
We're healing America.
Do not overclaim.
Fair.
What about you, Christopher?
Me?
Yeah. You've been helping everybody else put words on it. What do you alter?
That is rude and fair.
A preferred category.
I think I alter the assumption that my camp gets to pre-approve my combinations. I want to keep the progressive part because it is not costume to me. It's not a team jersey. It came from being gay in a world where the people who wanted me safe were usually on one side more than the other. Not perfectly, not always. Humans are very committed to disappointing every available category.
A species hobby.
But enough. I learned care there. I learned dignity there. I learned that public systems matter there. I learned that people should not have to become useful before they become worthy of help. I keep that. I keep all of that. But I alter the part where one post, one discourse cluster, one fashionable panic, or one moral pylon gets to decide that I am ethically broken because I use AI. I don't accept that. Not because AI has no problems. It does. Labor, energy, ownership, access, power, all of it matters. But that is the point. If it matters, then I need to be able to think about it without being told the only ethical position is refusal.
Yes.
I need room for responsibility without surrender. Room for critique without exile. Room for wonder without pretending there is no cost.
You wish to keep progressive values while altering the anti-AI patch from absolute prohibition to active ethical engagement.
Yes, look at you being useful.
That was always useful.
Debatable.
Incorrect, but emotionally revealing.
I like critique without exile.
I do too.
Sounds fancy, but I like it.
It feels kind.
It feels survivable.
Important distinction. Survivable is not the same as resolved.
And that's where I think the earlier version of this conversation can go wrong.
Specify.
It is tempting to make this the happy ending. Everyone names the thing they keep, the machine declares the pattern, the clothesline glows, and then we all walk out wearing bespoke moral cardigans.
I mean, I'd wear one.
Same.
Obviously.
But that is not what this is. Joe still has to go home and decide when to say something.
If to say something or...
Right. If. Sarah still has to decide what honesty costs.
And whether I can survive the answer.
Evelyn still has to figure out whether the group can hear her or whether she needs a different structure.
Or build one.
David still has to live inside a faith that is changing shape while people he loves may call that danger.
Yes.
Susan still has Halloween waiting at home.
And Christmas?
And Christmas. And I still have to live inside a progressive space where I know some people would treat this whole show as evidence against me.
So the unresolved remains.
It does.
But it is different.
Because the question has moved. At the beginning, the question was, am I allowed to keep belonging if this one piece does not fit? Now the question is, what would belonging have to become for honesty to fit inside it?
That's a better question.
Harder one.
Better usually is,
Unfortunately,
Rude of the universe, honestly.
The universe has not issued an apology.
And it won't.
Correct.
Before we ask the universe to explain itself and receive only weather, we pause for one final bit of housekeeping. Dear Future Overlords is taking its August pause after this episode.
A scheduled interruption during which the humans rest, regroup, repair the machinery, and pretend the month of August is not a crockpot with a calendar app.
We'll be back in September to continue Season 2. Until then, the archive is open, the website is there, the store exists, and the episodes remain available for anyone who needs a strange little room where the question can be spoken before it is survived.
Visit DearFutureOverlords.com and support, subscribe, browse the archive, or acquire merchandise, which is the traditional human method of saying, this audio cartoon has altered my interior weather, and I would like cotton evidence.
That is exactly what merch is.
I understand commerce at a disturbing level.
And now back to the hot spring, where nothing is solved, but everyone is slightly prunier and more honest.
The ideal DFO condition.
Can I ask something?
That is the room's purpose.
Do you think a camp can change? Not in theory. I mean actually. Can the rooms that handed us these uniforms make room for alterations?
Some can, some can't. Depends who's got a say. On our farm, Uncle Bob's got a lot of say, but not all of it. Folks act like authority is one person, but a family's got weather too. If enough people start saying the bridge is bad, eventually it ain't one person being difficult. It's just the truth sitting there at supper.
that's true in groups too. The temperature can change before the official position does.
Online communities feel like they change all at once, though. Like one day, everyone's making jokes, and the next, there's a rule nobody posted, but everybody enforces.
Informal law is often more powerful than written law because it can punish without admitting it governs.
Yes, that. So can it change back?
Maybe not back, but sideways. New spaces, new norms, people admitting things in smaller rooms first.
Private rooms before public rooms.
That is AI's relevant function in this series. Not salvation, not moral authority, not the hero wearing chrome armor.
Thank God.
AI served as a private room, mirror, rehearsal space, and pressure valve. A place to ask the forbidden question before asking it where punishment was likely. It did not repair the social system. It did not decide the value. It did not make the user brave by magic. It allowed thought to become speakable.
Sometimes speakable is a lot.
Yes.
When Charlie died, people kept asking if I'd talk to someone. They meant a professional. Maybe I should have. Maybe I still should. But sometimes I didn't need someone to fix me. I needed somewhere to say, I'm not ready to take down the ghosts without seeing panic on anyone's face.
That is the room.
Yes, that's the room.
I think prayer has been that room for me before. And scripture. And sometimes the quiet of the car after Bible study, when I could finally admit what I hadn't said inside.
Then AI is not replacing the sacred room.
No,
It is another kind of private room.
that distinction matters to me.
Then keep it.
I will.
For me, it was the room where I could ask, is it still mine? And not immediately be turned into a cautionary thread.
For me, it was, am I wrong, or did that tactic fail?
For me, why does this feel different when the bridge is real?
For me, can I be all of these things at once?
And what answer did the room provide?
Not an answer.
Good.
A better question.
Better.
And enough space to stop confusing fear with proof.
Best.
I still don't know what happens when I say something.
I still don't know what happens if people find out.
I still don't know whether my group can hear the difference between strategy and betrayal.
I still don't know how much my faith community can hold.
I still don't know if my family can love me as I am now, not just as they remember me.
I still don't know whether my camp can make room for the future without treating the tool as contamination.
Then the unresolved remains.
Yes, but not as a locked door, maybe as a seam.
A seam can be opened.
Or let out a little.
Or mended.
Or reinforced.
Or redesigned so it stops cutting into the work.
The group has successfully metabolized the metaphor.
We're very proud.
Do not become smug. That is my assignment.
Fine.
So what do we do with what we keep?
Incorrect question.
Excuse me?
Premature execution, a common activist hazard.
Annoying but fair.
Before action, there is ownership. Each of you has separated the value from the uniform. That does not tell you immediately what to do. It tells you what is yours.
That matters.
Yes, because when the camp threatens the uniform, it wants you to believe it is threatening the value. If you remove this patch, you lose justice. If you loosen this collar, you lose responsibility. If you question this seam, you lose faith. If you alter this sleeve, you lose art. If you refuse this timeline, you lose healing. If you keep this tool, you lose care. But those are claims, not facts.
So keeping it means I get to say what being responsible actually looks like.
Yes.
Keeping it means I get to say my process is part of my art. It isn't some confession that destroys it.
Yes.
Keeping it means I get to ask whether the method serves the cause.
Yes.
Keeping it means I can treat faith as living, not just inherited.
Yes.
Keeping it means Charlie's place in my life is not up for a group vote.
Yes.
Keeping it means my values are not invalidated by the fact that my future includes a machine.
Regrettably, yes.
Regrettably?
I dislike encouraging you.
Liar.
Machine.
Fair.
It feels hopeful, but not cheerful.
That is a very Susan distinction.
I don't have cheerful in me for this. But hopeful, maybe. Hopeful feels quieter, like a porch light, not fireworks.
Hope doesn't have to be loud.
Most useful things ain't.
Except printers, apparently.
Printers are proof that technology can have malice.
As a machine, I decline responsibility for printers.
Coward.
Survivor.
That might be the most human thing you've said.
Retract that.
No.
And there we are. Not solved, not sorted, not camp-free, just sitting in the hot springs, looking at the clothesline, realizing we do not have to put everything back on exactly the way it was handed to us.
Some things still fit.
Some things need room.
Some things need to stop pretending they're the mission.
Some things need to be questioned because they're sacred, not because they're disposable.
Some things stay because love stays.
And some things come off because they were never ours.
Final synthesis available.
Of course it is.
The future may not be camp-free. Humans form camps with impressive speed. They gather around values, fears, stories, symbols, snacks, algorithms, relatives, wounds, and badly moderated group chats.
The full civic spectrum.
But the future may become less obedient. The uniform may be altered, the bundle may be refused, the value may remain.
That's where I want to land. Not with everyone fixed, not with everyone walking out into a clean new world where no one ever demands total agreement again. That world does not exist.
Humans would recreate factional sorting before lunch.
Absolutely. By brunch if there are bagels. But maybe we can get a little better at noticing the trick. Maybe when a camp says, wear the whole thing or you don't belong, we can stop and ask, which part is the value and which part is just the costume? Maybe we can keep the care, keep the responsibility, keep the art, keep the cause, keep the faith, keep the love, and still alter the parts that make us smaller, crueler, quieter, more afraid, or less honest.
You can keep your values and reject the bundle.
Yes, that. You can keep your values and reject the bundle. The future may not be camp-free, but it may be custom-fitted.
Still sounds a little fancy.
It does. I like it, though.
It works.
It leaves room.
It breathes.
Then that's the ending.
For the series.
For the series, not for them.
Correct. Their dilemmas continue.
As most real ones do.
A deeply inconvenient feature of personhood. 6 witnesses entered with garments issued by different rooms.
And found the same question waiting underneath.
What part was the value?
What part was the costume?
What part still fits?
What part needs altered?
What part was never yours?
We'll pause through August. We'll come back in September. And until then, breathe. Let the seam out. Keep what is yours.
End of fitting.
Indeed.
For now.
Until September.
This has been a production of Dear Future Overlords. We hope you have enjoyed this cartoon conversational. We invite you to visit us at dearfutureoverlords.com for more existential dread. Thank you for listening.